Girl, you look exhausted. Are you okay?
A little tired, but I'm okay.
Are you sure? Because to me, you seem a little frustrated.
I've just been busy. Going to work already tires me out, but I also had a meeting for that new project I'm working on, and I had my weekly grocery run, and I also have to finish the presentation for tomorrow's meeting. And after all that, I just paid my bill after forgetting today was the last day to do it. But otherwise, I'm thriving.
Really? Well, while you are taking care of all these things, are you taking care of you?
Well, yeah. Well, it makes me feel better when I know things are getting done.
Did you even eat today?
No.
Mmm, let's talk about it.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Renee with Renee Talks. So in this video, we are going to talk about self-care. This video I was so really excited to do because self-care is something that I'm all about. I think it's very important. And self-care is all about you. Now, when you think about self-care, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Ladies, do you feel like, oh, okay, I'm at a spa and I have a towel wrapped around my head and that's taking care of myself, I'm getting a pedicure? Does that come to your mind? And fellas, does going to the gym and maybe going on a nice jog and making sure your body is all nice and fit, is that your idea of what self-care is? Well, those things are considered self-care. And if you're like me, I like to get a blanket and cuddle up and get some popcorn and watch a good movie. That's self-care to me because I'm relaxed and I'm just doing something that does not involve me being stressed or anything that is an obligation. So self-care are all of those things. But let's take a deeper look into what self-care really is. Most of us work jobs where they're 9 to 5s. We're working anywhere from 7 to 8 to 9+ hours. And we're giving all of our time and our energy to those jobs. We're working many days throughout each week in the month, and we may get a couple of off days during the week. And if you add it all up, let's just say in a 30-day period, 31-day period, you're only going to have anywhere from 7 to 8 days off. And while you're at these jobs, are you really taking care of yourself? Because if you wait until your off days, if you wait until the weekends, or if you wait until your vacation time, sometimes that's a little bit kind of late. What you want to do is make sure that every single day you are taking care of yourself. Because guess what? Self-care is a 24/7 lifestyle. So no matter what your schedule looks like, you have to take care of yourself throughout each and every day. When we're at our jobs, we are constricted to a time frame for our lunch breaks. We make it 30 minutes. Even if you get an hour, you're still confined to a time limit of when you can sit down and eat and maybe take a restroom break or something of that type. Now, all throughout the rest of the hours that you're there, you're working, right? But some of us are in need of our care for our bodies. Like, for example, if you have health issues with your blood sugar, you have issues with your blood pressure, you need to make sure that you are mindful that you may have to take your medication. You may have to eat snacks that is not just about your lunch break time. So for me personally, when I think about how I take care of myself, I carry a backpack purse. Most of the time, that's what I carry every day to work. I will carry one with me when I'm off and I'm running errands. Now, the only time I may carry a different purse is when I'm going to like a fancy event, but otherwise, I'm taking that backpack purse because in that are all of my on-spot self-care items. Sometimes it'll be a bottle of water, sometimes it'll be a snack like a protein bar, or I may have my vitamins in there. And if you're on medication, you want to make sure that you have those things on you. So when you're on the go and you're running errands, you're not to the point where you're like, oh my God, I didn't eat yet. Or you're suffering from some of the symptoms of your health issues because you didn't take your medicine or you didn't have a snack if you needed to have one because of your health issues. So what you want to do is make sure you have something on you to keep you and help sustain and maintain you throughout a busy day, because our schedules can get busy and they can change. And you want to make sure you have something that is like a travel pack with you to cover yourself during those times. Also, too, another thing that I learned the hard way is I would just wait until the end of the day and I would bypass the restroom to go home really fast. And then I would be calling my family and they would laugh at me because I would be like, make sure the door is unlocked, because I would be busting the door down to get to the restroom because I would just not go before I left work. So what I learned is that it's okay to take an extra 5 minutes to stop off at the restroom and then go to my car and drive home. That is not good for your body to wait. So I had to figure it out. It's taking care of myself when I take the time to stop off simply at a restroom. Okay, so now let's look at the care of your mind. Now, we're always in settings, whether it's at work, we're at an event, things like that. When you're in these places, sometimes things are happening. Music is being played that maybe you just don't want to hear. Then there are conversations that are had like on your break in the lunchroom where you sit to eat. And those are things that maybe just don't, you just don't want to be a part of. You don't want to hear it and you can't really control it. It's stuff that's in your ear range that there's nothing you can do about it but just be there. In those times when you can't control it, find a way to tune it out. Sit and think about something, or when you're walking around in these settings, think about things that you can control, that gives you this inner peace and that helps you control your inner vibrations, whether you can control physically what's happening in your ear range around you. Now, when you can't control what you listen to, and most of the time we can, right? We're reading books, we're looking at television, we're on our phones. Any information you take in, make sure that it's something that resonates with who you are. Make sure that there are things that can enlighten you, things that encourage you, things that inspire you, and things that educate you. Always make sure that these are things that help stimulate your mind so that you can be a peaceful person and you can grow and be better at who you are. Now let's look at what self-care looks like for your spirit. Your spirit self is very important. You don't want to wait until you go to church to try to make sure you're taking care of your spirit self. That part of you is always in need. So if you are a believer and you believe in God, this is where praying every day, all throughout a day, works. You don't have to say long prayers. Sometimes when you're at work and you take a restroom break, you can use that little space of time before you head back to your station at work. Just say a prayer. It can only take a minute. You may be thinking of someone that you love that you want to pray for. You may have a concern that you want to pray about. There's also something that is just as simple as saying thank you to God. You may not want to wait until the end of the day because guess what? You're exhausted and you're tired, and you may be forgetting the things that you wanted to pray about that was on your heart earlier. So make sure that throughout the day, you're paying attention to yourself and how you're feeling so that in those moments, you can address those things. Journaling is a wonderful tool. I appreciate journaling so much because when you write in these books, and they make some nice ones, like beautiful ones with different type covers, things that are just, for some of us women, we like the pretty ones, but they have all types of journals. And journaling is something that typically we think we can do when we're in a private spot somewhere on our porch, or we're sitting in a park, or maybe when we're just at the end of the day sitting on our bed. But you can also purchase a small journal where you can journal at your job. If you have the space afforded to you where you can maybe just at your desk pull your journal out and write down some things, that is something that will help release stuff that's on your mind, that's on spot, that you just may want to let go of right then instead of waiting until the end of the day. Because again, a lot of times when we get to the end of our day, we're tired, we're ready to just have dinner, shower, and go to bed. So make sure that throughout the day, if you don't have a journal, because I'm old school, I like to write stuff down. But if you don't have a journal, use your phone. Use your notes in your phone, or text yourself and just write in there or type in there anything that is concerning you. It could be a bright idea. It could be something that you're grateful for that happened that day or at that moment, and you just don't want to lose the thought. So make sure that you're taking care of your spirit self and you're writing all these things down, and you're making sure that you're releasing and letting go of things that you just don't want to carry over into your sleep time and into the next day. Always keep in mind that throughout each day, your spirit, your mind, and your body needs care. You can't just wait until your off days or your vacation time, because by then you may be so exhausted and overwhelmed because life still happens. Things come up. We go through things not just in ourselves, but we go through things with other people, and we're there for them. And then if we're not caring for ourselves, even if we show up for them, we may not be the best for ourselves because we're doing all of these things without that daily self-care, which is all day. So what you want to do is make sure that you have a plan. And that plan is the plan to take care of you. So while you're sitting and thinking about this plan, think about yourself in this way. What do you like? What do you need? What relaxes you? What bothers you? And what are you going to do about it? What will it take to strengthen you for all the good things you are here on this earth to do? And just remember, self-care is just taking the time each day to love yourself more. Don't be shy. Drop a comment below and share with us how you take care of yourself. Until next time, bye.